Optimistic. 8 letters.
Positive? You going to see Rouge today?
Yeah, I'll poke down later.
Oh, she'll be thrilled to see you.
Sure, she'll be glad of the company. Marilyn, I know it's short notice, but I don't suppose you could come with me.
Oh, I can't. I'm sorry. I've got to work. I'm still covering Irene's shifts.
Yeah, well, I reckon you could do with a break.
I don't mind. I'm not complaining.
No, I know you're not.
Yeah. I would love to come and see Rue, though. She's always in my thoughts. I just want her to get through this horrible time and come back and be with us. Will you send her my love?
I'll make a point of it.
Thanks. I'll see you later.
Okay.
Bye.
We are Si and Sophie. This is Coastal News, a home and away podcast, your weekly episode companion podcast for your favourite Aussie soap.
No more secrets, no more lies, Sophie.
Uh-oh.
How are you? You okay?
I'm good. We're a team. There's no I in team.
We started the episode very solemn there.
Oh dear. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Looking forward to today, actually. We've been hard at it most of the day, haven't we? Prepping and,
Yeah.
we've not stopped, have we, really?
Not stopped buying all that wine, all that prep.
Yeah. Oh, the wine running, Storm, whatever the storm name is.
Babette or whatever it is.
Babette, yeah. Or is it Babet?
I don't know. I don't know that name, I'll be honest. I'm not very
Somebody write in and tell us is the T silent.
Not very cultured.
No.
But yes. And somebody's having a birthday this weekend.
Oh, what are you bringing that?
You don't get away with it. So, yeah, happy birthday in advance for tomorrow.
Thank you. Yeah, release day, birthday.
Release day. What else could you ask for? Seriously. Yeah.
Stars are aligned. Thank you very much. I'm 24. If anybody asks.
Okay.
My oldest memory of home and away is
River Boys.
Cat Chapman.
Oh, bless you.
Nothing before then.
Got anything nice planned?
No, do you know, everyone's asking me, and this is the first year I've done a no.
Really?
No. Yeah. Well, I'm going away on Tuesday, and so I've got things to do. Yeah. So no. There's a new Netflix series. Well, a new season of a Netflix series that I watch out today. So my plan is to just hunker down in Storm Bebe. And
why not? It's your birthday.
Watch Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah. Fabulous. Yes. I love a Netflix binge, so I'll always back you up on that plan.
Thank you. Gracias.
Yes.
And then just pretend I'm 24, basically.
Yeah, I've been doing that for many years, so yeah. It's not working, but
24 was a good number, wasn't it? Old enough to know better, but young enough to still have fun. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Your front caudal, whatever it is, your front bit of your brain's not fully formed until you're 25. So when you're 25, you start getting sensible, don't you? I think 24 is like the last year of woohoo.
Was that what I felt on my 25th birthday? It was your full frontal what?
It's your prefrontal cortex or something. There's something in your brain that's not fully developed until you're 25.
I'm afraid.
And then when you're 25, you're meant to be more sensible because this is fully developed and you're an adult. You're not an adult mentally until you're 25 or something. I don't know. There's some science. Just Google it. I have no idea. I'm just talking absolute crap.
I am not Googling 25-year-old full frontal. Thank you.
Okay, fair enough. You'll get some even weirder adverts on Facebook.
Yeah, it's bad enough. Police
Your adverts on Facebook are hilarious. Oh dear. Yes.
Not so targeted, I'll say. Not so targeted. Mm-hmm.
Hilarious. Oh dear.
Contrary to what Meta think, I do not have a fetish for nothing. I'm looking up recipes for bread.
Someone's using your Wi-Fi, I reckon.
Must have words. Right, home and away. Should we do a bit of that?
Should we do a podcast? It's going to be one of them days. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry to the listeners.
You know it's going to be great if we're apologising from the off. Would you like your headlines, Sophie?
I would.
Harper and Dana remember their alibi, but it seems that Detective Madden is one step ahead. Alf is concerned for Rue and organises a hospital transfer back to the Bay. Xander, aka Captain Cackles, continues to struggle to get on board with Rose meeting her father, not helped by him re-entering her orbit.
Oh dear. If you listened to First Look last week, that will make sense.
We've got one more.
Oh dear.
John settles on a plan for the surf club team bonding day thingy.
Please take the time to like, subscribe, and review Coastal News wherever you source your podcasts, and ensure you never miss an episode.
Right, lyric in a minute, and Sophie, you're gonna take us through it this week, aren't you?
I'm going to try and fail spectacularly, because I tried to do this earlier and I nearly had an asthma attack. I don't know how you've done it.
With great problematic words and tongue twisting. Also, do your best. Can't be any worse than the storyline itself.
I can't read at the best of times. Never mind with the countdown.
You let me know when you're ready, and I'll hit that clock.
Shall I count down? Whew. Okay, let me breathe in. 3, 2, 1, go. Forrest catches Remy busking lyric songs and threatens legal action. Forrest decides now is the time to announce Kirby's solo career. Bree was asking the question that's on everyone's mind. Why can't Remy and Eden just write some new songs? Remy spots the announcement about Kirby going solo on the socials. Eden and Remy wallow in the comments from their fans who are speculating if this is the end of Lyric. Even though Remy and Eden are broke and have no jobs, Bree suggests that they all go to Salt for pizza. In Salt, Kirby is celebrating her solo announcement with Forrest and a glass of champagne. Remy and Eden see this, lose their appetites, and leave. Don't make me laugh. Elsewhere in the Bay, Theo has decided he's happy for Kirby and that he wants to be a mechanic again. Lyric now have no songwriter and no lead singer. Remy and Eden do some more sulking and decide to run off to Remy's parents' holiday home to write some new material. On the way out, they run into Kirby and shout at her for pulling copyright on their songs. Kirby doesn't have a Scooby, what they mean. Kirby gets confirmation from Bree that the...
Oh, it's making a noise.
I need to breathe now. That's a lot.
Breathe. That was lyric in a minute. I was
about 3/4 of the way through, but that'll do.
That's all right. What you don't know won't hurt you. That's it. That's it.
How have you done that for 2 weeks in a row? I'm literally dying.
Not as good as that. You did that well.
Oh dear. You made me laugh. I can't remember what it was, but
sorry. I am sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, sabotage.
Right then, Tani and Flick, let's talk about them because, he's feeling iced out, if you remember, this week. He just can't understand why she did that interview while he was away. Where she met her attacker face on, and we absolutely applauded that scene, lapped that up last week, didn't we? But very quickly, Tane was not happy about it. He was kept in the dark. I was saying to you, wasn't I, last week, this is really frustrating me, actually, because... they agreed to draw a line. The only way this was going to work and they were going to move forward and get through this was if they were open with each other. And I felt a bit frustrated that she was doing this without telling him. And I can understand why he's come home to find this happening, and he's reacted the way he is. To be honest, he's fuming, isn't he?
Yes. Quite rightly, I think I think it's a shame with these two, really, because I'm starting to see some real cracks here, and I don't know what to do about it.
You've fizzle watched them.
I have, yeah. I don't want to see it. I don't want them to have cracks. I want, we had this scene where they said, "Oh, no more lies from now on. We're going to just, we're going to be good." And I just thought, the fact that you've said it out loud just makes me think it's not going to happen.
Yeah, when that was happening, he was like, "No more secrets, no more lies." I was thinking, "Oh my God, Sophie was right." Oh, good God.
And she said something like, "Yeah, can we just get on with our lives now?" And I thought, well, you've just cursed it. So.
I don't know how I feel about this. This is like power couple status here. Why are we ruining? And it's all this. Any more crap going their way? My days.
I know. I mean, has Tane himself not been through enough? We've reeled off laughably how much he's gone through since he's joined the show. It's just mad. He just deserves this little slice of happiness for a little bit, I think.
And if it ends up that way, it's going to be ugly, isn't it? It's going to be ugly. It's going to be mad.
Yeah.
It's not going to be amicable by any stretch of the imagination. You just know it.
Oh, no, there's too much fire between them for it to ever be. They couldn't ever go back to being friends, and I don't think they could split up without it being toxic either.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean, he's avoiding. Well, she's avoiding him. She's trying to small talk, isn't she, this week? And he's like, cut to the chase, right?
Yeah.
Let's lay the cards down here. And she says, if I told you I was going to do it, you'd protect me. You'd try and talk me out of it. And I didn't want, I don't want, no offense, but I didn't want to have to worry about your feelings on top of my own. I thought, I call me insensitive, and I feel like I've been really, really fair and compassionate with Felicity in the last few months with everything that's gone on. But I'm feeling like, it's about time someone did think about Tane's feelings for a change. Am I being unfair thinking that?
No, I think you're right. I think we have had very much the Flick show for a long, long, long time. And Tane does take the backseat. He takes the backseat in not just with Flick, but with loads of people, doesn't he? When he's lost his brothers and he's put other people first when that's happened. He's put Nico first. When he was grieving for Ari, but he was more worried about Nico and how Nico felt, and worrying about Mia and Chloe, and he puts himself last, doesn't he, all the time?
Yeah.
And worries about other people, but actually, sometimes he has to put himself first and think, what do I want? What do I need to be happy? And I don't think it's unreasonable for him to say to Flick, it's not the fact that you went to the interview and the fact that you did it, it's the fact that you didn't tell me that you'd made that decision. You could have spoken to me about it once you've decided. I kind of get that she wanted to decide for herself and not have, because Eden was going, don't do it, and Cash was going, yeah, just do it if you think it's it's the right thing to do. And then Tani would have had an opinion as well, and then she's thinking about what everyone else wants her to do. I think it was understandable for her to come to that conclusion by herself. But once she had decided, she could have called Tani and said, look, I've had this big decision to make and I've decided this is what I'm going to do. I'd like your support with it. Don't come back. I'm okay. But, I want to let you know because you're my husband,
Yeah.
I don't think that's unreasonable for him to be a bit upset that she didn't tell him. And then he had to find out from Remy and then walk in the police station and she's in the room. He's had no time to process that happening. Like, his wife sat in the room with this guy. He's just had to turn up and see it and he's not had any time to prepare himself. And I think that was a bit cruel.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. And, a phone call, an explanation. Fair enough, if he wanted to rush home, that would be on him.
Yes.
But I don't know, I felt like it was a bit of a dig, like, I can't be dealing with you on top of me. And I just thought, actually, all he ever does is deal with you. Like
everybody does, yeah.
Yeah, and I felt, okay, there are moments where you can be selfish, but we always come back to that word selfish with Felicity, don't we? It's a trait of hers that does rear its head every now and then. And I just feel like Tani might be getting into a bit of a situation here where he might be feeling trapped. I don't want to leave her, because this awful things happen to her, or, but I also feel like I can't stay because like she can't be honest with me, and I feel like he's going to end up being torn in two. As a result of it all. So I absolutely get what you're saying. Absolutely.
And I mean, sorry, you go.
No, I was going to say he starts shutting down as a result, doesn't he? And you think the worst thing you can do is that, because that's just going to make her rile right up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's like a red flag, isn't it, to a bull? Yeah. I think from a lot of people on the socials, they're kind of saying, Tane knew this about Flick when they got together. He knew that she was a bit selfish and a bit,
well, that's true, yeah,
self-absorbed and everything else. And there's a difference between knowing and expecting it and actually having to live through it, isn't there, sometimes? So
that's true, yeah.
And
sometimes you feel like your abilities to cope, you feel like you've got greater abilities than actually you do when it comes down to it. Do you know what I
mean? You've got to be the one that gets leaned on, not the one that leans on people.
And sometimes love isn't enough on its own. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He does come round though the next day, doesn't he? As always, shows up for her yet again, despite what she said. And he comes round. This is when they have that, that chat, no more secrets, yada yada yada. We're a team, are we not? And like you alluded to before, major foreshadowing that clearly we're not, and we're kidding ourselves. And I'm a little bit upset, because I'm thinking a bit like you. This is the start of the end, isn't it? Really. And I know, like on a soap, no one can be happy, because that's not fun. That's not a good TV show, is it? But
no.
I wanted these two to be endgame after all the crap. And it's upsetting, really, that it's going that way.
I think it'd be nice just to have a little bit of stability, wouldn't it, with these two? I mean, it's just gone from tragedy to tragedy, from awful thing to awful thing. We've just got past this sexual assault stuff, and now it feels like it's still hanging over us. There's still a sort of black cloud over them, isn't there? Really?
Yeah, 100%. Right, Harper's asking Cash for an update on Dana's case this week. When we rejoin these guys, and this is a storyline I'm right here for, loving this. So, and he's printed off the files, trying to avoid detection. Like,
that's the best thing to do, isn't it? To avoid detection, print them off and take them home.
Hard copy, ring binder. Thought he's going to get them apostilled.
Oh God! Plastic sheets for all the plastic wallets. For every page.
Remember them?
I do. Remember going to WH Smith's and buying packs of them.
The poor fishies.
Oh God, awful.
I know he's back. Basically, he's avoiding detection. It's all getting a bit dangerous because of detective, dodgy detective Madden there. And he's speaking to Dana and Harper. They're back at Irene's beach house, and he's saying we need to establish a timeline of the day in question. When you're supposed to have stolen these drugs from the hospital. And they go, oh, do you remember we went to lunch like we do all the time? And you're like, what? You've only just mentioned this? Have you just remembered this? And it turns out they did give this in their statement, but it's not in the hard copy. He's there, thumbing it. It's not there.
Oh, I was a bit frustrated, I'll be honest, that it took this many episodes to talk about her alibi, where she was at the scene, the time of the crime. We only just realised that she was with her sister in a place that had CCTV, and it captured the whole thing. Oh well, we're here now. I'm glad that Cash was able to help them reach this conclusion, and
It was very sort of because they did tell the detective, so they just assumed they knew, but nobody. So well, I say Dana did in her statement, but nobody cross-referenced it with Harper, and they haven't spoken about it between them since. It seems a little bit of a stretch, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So like you say, yeah, well, how's it taken so long? But Cash, he's got them there. So obviously, naturally, they need to get their hands on this CCTV from the restaurant, don't they? So they start making calls, and Cash is all, getting involved, and they're pursuing the restaurant, aren't they? He's going to go down there and he's going to go and get the footage, and off he trots. And Harper gets a call, and it's Detective Madden. Wants her to come down to the cop shop for an interview. So off she goes down to ICPD. I'll cut to the chase. Where's your sister? He knows, doesn't he? He knows. He knows that she's harboring her. He knows that Cash knows about it. I was watching this thinking he's starting to play with them now. Like he's just waiting for them to slip up. And he's just basically he's come to town to play with them, because he knows they're here, and he's just going to try and basically keep them off the scent. Basically, I don't think he's that fussed if he catches Dana or not at this moment. What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think he just wants to catch them out in a lie, because then he can say, well, Harper's alibi is no good because she's a liar, and throw it out the window. And that's the only thing that's keeping Dana, anyone. She's obviously in trouble, but the only thing keeping her out of trouble is Harper and her, her account of what happened, and being able to prove that. So if he gets rid of the CCTV, and then he proves that Harper is a liar, then Dana's case is just going to fall through, isn't it? So
absolutely, yeah. I saw, we talk about this whole sort of. There's a team, isn't there, behind this operation? It's not just Madden, lone detective. We suspect Ollie is involved, and whoever else in the force who is able to make evidence disappear, and keep quiet about it, etc. So I think Madden's actual purpose in the team, his role, is to make sure that Dana doesn't uncover anything she shouldn't. Like I think that's his purpose. He's been sent there to make sure nothing goes untoward with the plan. That's what I feel anyway. However, while they're down there and they're having these really dramatic police threats back and forth, Dana's back at Irene's house celebrating because she thinks that the CCTV is a done deal, and it proves that she couldn't have been at the hospital because she was at lunch at the exact same time, so it wasn't her, and we'll get her off. She's dancing, she's playing music, and she also has a bit of a thumb through the old file and reads her superstar boyfriend Ollie, aka Judas, reads his statement, and it's not nice reading for her, is it?
No.
She's a bit betrayed there. He's handed her on a platter, so they say. It's a bit of a stinker of a boyfriend, isn't he?
Total stinker. I mean, he's basically lied in his statement and said that she's done this before. She's stolen drugs from the hospital before. They've had words about it before. She's taken fentanyl from the hospital. This is all serious stuff that he's accusing her of. And as far as we know, it's all absolute crap. But it was nice to get her to see it, because up until now she's been trying to call him, hasn't she? Which has been driving me crazy. It's been like, why would you call this guy? Why would you call someone that's telling the cops that you've done this crime? Why would you want to, unless you want to talk to him and say, what the hell, mister? Like, come clean. Why have you done this? Why have you set me up? But it didn't feel to me like she was calling him for that. She felt like she was calling him to say, it's me. Hello, babe. Yeah. I was like, I'm not here for what the earth is going on.
It's really naive vibes, isn't it? Like, he told me he loved me and he wouldn't have done this to me. And she's kept the lines of communication open, hasn't he? I mean, this completely blows my first theory out the window. Do you remember me saying that Dana herself was complicit in the cover-up? Do you remember that was my first? Do you remember me saying that?
Yes.
And so that blows that out of the water, doesn't it? Because it sounds pretty much that she's been set up by her nearest and dearest Ollie Judas boyfriend here. I mean, there's no going back, surely.
No. I mean, she's wound me up a little bit this week, I'll be honest, because I feel like Harper's the adult and Dana's like the child. I don't think the sisterly relationship to me is not coming across as much as like, you know, the mother and child relationship, because, you know, Dana's the one that's putting all of her life at risk, trying to, her career, etc., her freedom, because she could go to prison for harboring the fugitive. She's putting all this on the line for Dana, trying to take all these risks for her to try and get her out of this situation that she's in. And Dana doesn't seem to be taking it seriously at all. Like you say, she's dancing around the kitchen, she's got the music on, she's got the back door wide open, anybody could walk in. You know, people drop into Irene's all the time. Mr. Stewart could walk in, Marilyn could walk in, Leah, John. I know Irene's not there, but they could pop round to just say hi to Harper, make sure she's okay. You know, it's a very neighbourly thing to do. It's just drove me mad that she's not taking it seriously. And I'm like, oh, this girl.
Yeah,
honestly.
She's naive. She's very naive. How old is she supposed to be?
Well, she's supposed to be a nurse. Like, she's supposed to be a qualified nurse who works in a hospital. Now, to qualify as a nurse, you don't just do that in a day, do you? So you go to college or uni, or, you know what I mean? And you qualify, and then you do the work experience. So I reckon she's got to be early 20s at the youngest.
Yeah.
Isn't she?
Yeah. But maybe she's a bit younger in sort of mentality.
Yeah,
because
she's acting like a teenager, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. Let's see, the pennies have all slowly started dropping. Madden and Ollie are connected. And then Cash is there saying, look, guys, he's probably already watching the house. You need to be very, very careful. You know, you can't leave the house. Absolutely, he'll know you're here. He's waiting. He's really, you know, he's waiting for you to put a foot wrong. He knows you're here. He's just waiting for you to show yourself, basically.
Do you know what? I was surprised. You know, he had Harper and Cash were in the YCPD being interviewed by Madden. I was really surprised. What I was expecting was Madden to follow them home, because they went straight back, didn't they? They went straight back to Irene's house together, and Dana was there, back door open, dancing around, happy. And I thought it'd be great if Madden walked in now, because you'd just catch them straight at it. That's what I was expecting. And then it didn't happen, and I was like, okay, we get a leave of absence for like a day, but this is gonna happen again, surely.
Yeah, I think it'll happen with Irene first.
Oh, do you?
Because Irene's not a clue, has she?
No. Yeah, we don't know when she's back, do we? I don't think she's been mentioned, like, when she's coming back.
My other half was like, she's gonna have kittens when she gets home.
What the flaming heck's going on in my house?
God save Ireland. Who the blooming heck are you?
Oh God.
So this is feeling, I'm getting anxious. This is feeling really nerving, this. So let's find out. So at the moment, they're literally, you know, buried away at Irene's house. Like, what's your next move? Because I think whatever you do now, you're gonna rumble yourself, girl. You know.
Yeah.
Speaking of moves, Alf, you know, he's not happy about leaving the City Hospital, is he?
No. Bracing myself for this.
He's worrying about February's great return. Basically, well, long story short, because it's a bit of a B story, isn't it, this week? There's all this talk about why is she down at the City, she wants to be back home, and all this chit chat's happening around Marilyn, and Marilyn's looking a bit like, you know, like it's a bit of trepidation of her coming home. Turns out, long story short, they haven't spoken, and she's not been to see her because she's ashamed and feels she's got a lot of self-blame about the bomb, as you would, because, you know, it was all the whole stunning organic shebang that blew her up in the van. And so she's tiptoeing around that subject, isn't she? She's sort of dancing around it. And Leah, like Leah Blooming does, takes over the whole thing and arranges some sort of day pass like she's in prison.
Day release, yeah.
Day release, yeah.
That made me laugh.
Yes, and Alf's like, well, why did I think of that? Because she's not in jail. Oh,
dear. I'm glad it's not just me, because that made me titter to myself.
Same. I had visions of her down in Wentworth.
I know. I thought she'd be in like, the not police outfit, the prison outfit. I was expecting him in
the
like
orange boiler.
Yeah, in a boiler suit with handcuffed hands and feet and
ball and chain.
Oh dear, so funny.
Ruin the stocks.
Oh dear. I'd put a fiver to throw something at a depot.
So, but long story short, they call the hospital and they arrange to move her back. So she's moving back to Northern Districts. Leah tries to get a day out organised, but it's a no-go, isn't it? Perhaps it wasn't a lake with a single-story car park in the end.
This did confuse me because what they initially wanted was this day release thing where they were going to take her for a picnic, weren't they, by the ocean or something, so that she could get out of the hospital for a day. I understood that in a way because it was like, get out of the hospital for a day. She's been in there for weeks. Let her see her friends, let her get out and see the sea, so get some fresh air. I thought, yeah, that's probably is what you'd need after being cooped up in hospital for weeks and weeks and weeks. Yeah. But no, what they've done is they've just moved her to a different hospital that's nearer to her house. Yeah. So how is this the same thing? I'm confused.
No, she's still cooped up in a hospital. She's had a good ride out in the ambulance.
I mean, I'm glad she's still in the hospital, but I think we're going to see her now, aren't we? Because blissfully, she's been in the hospital in the city, and we've not been allowed to have any scenes there. Mm-hmm. But now she's in the hospital close to the house where Bree works, and
Marilyn has no excuse but to go and visit.
Yeah, we're going to see it, aren't we?
Yes, we're going to have scenes at the all too familiar hospital. Yeah, you're right. Brace yourself. Brace.
I am.
Brace.
Yeah.
Right. Team bonding sessions. Let's talk. Not bonding, not bondage. Let's just make that very clear.
Because you can end up in HR nightmare if you get the two confused. Yeah, don't do that.
And any other kind of nightmare with Gerald from the Surf Club.
Claustrophobic Gerald from the Surf Club.
Absolutely. So bondage isn't for him.
I'm dying.
John, he's nervous about impressing Alf, hasn't he? Because Alf has sailed on through these plans for this team bonding day.
Mute.
Muting his Bluetooth earphone. I mean, I can't believe we're talking about these words in the same sentence as Alf. Muting his Bluetooth hearing aid. He's okayed, along with the rest of the committee. They voted through this day, and he's panicking. John, he's thinking of ideas, surfing lessons. No, he's pecking Mac a lot, and it gives us these great comedy moments between Mac and John, who just bounce off each other so easily, they ultimately rope Mac into and settle on the idea of a cocktail making class at Salt, don't they? Which sounds quite enjoyable, actually. It doesn't sound too bad. Not too far to go.
It sounds good, but is it something that would impress Mr. Stewart? I would probably say no.
Well, I think he's managed to pass, hasn't he? Because of the Rue hospital transfer. He's turning up, is he?
No, but I thought the whole reason why John was so stressed was that he wanted to find something that Alf would go, yes, John, you've done a great job. Because he's so desperate for that approval, isn't he? He just wants Alf to say one nice thing to him and say, John, you did a good job, or John, just a compliment. Just throw him a bone, Alf. Just let him have one compliment. Give it him as a Christmas present. That's all he wants. But I did sort of think, cocktails?
You never know. You might not know Mr. Stewart as much as you think you do. He might love a Cosmo.
He might, yeah. I think he's more of a Victoria Bitter kind of guy, but there we go. VB and a meat pie at the Aussie Rules. That's what I would have done. If I wanted to impress Mr. Stewart, I'd have had a day out, either at the racetrack or Aussie Rules or the rugby, and it would have been a meat pie in one hand and a VB in the other. And I think he would have been like, yeah, this is okay. He wouldn't go overboard with the compliments, but he might be like, yeah, this is passable.
Yeah, it is actually Xander, aka Captain Cackles, who gives him the idea, isn't it? Because he's having some sort of existential crisis and he's throwing bottles in the air behind the bar and he goes, "Oh, cocktails."
Don't you do that when you're having a bad day? Don't you just wander into work and start throwing the bottles around?
Start juggling vodka. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Stress relief.
There's been some random moments this week, hasn't there? It really has.
I've loved it. It's so random.
So it's full steam ahead with the cocktail making class. It looks like Alf's managed to dodge it. I think he's happy about that. And Xander, all smiles, in a mood. John, hilarious. He's got his outfit on, dressed for the occasion, all steam ahead. And I'm looking forward to Monday. I really am, because it's going to be funny. It's going to be good.
Did you know that John used to be in the Navy? Because, he likes to mention that just in case anyone's missed it.
Yeah, you use that as an excuse as the reason why. Oh, yeah, because do you know? Sorry, you've just made me think about a point here. Oh yeah, he said that, didn't he? When Marilyn was like, "Oh, you know what you get like? Don't drink too much.
Don't drink, John." Yeah,
and that was his sort of. I've been in the Navy, I can drink you under the table or whatever.
Drink like a fish.
That was it. Drink like a fish. That's another clue for the John Maz reunion.
Oh, she knows him.
And
she still cares. She still cares. Why would your ex-wife care that you're having a night out, a works night out, and tell you to be careful and tell you to be, why would she care? Because she cares.
Yeah. But it's normally the other way around. So there was an occasion a couple of weeks back, wasn't there, as well? Yeah. And when I said to you, I think it's going to happen eventually. This pricked my ears a bit. I was like, oh, another clue. Maybe I'm just projecting, but this to me feels like we might be on the road back. Yeah. Who knows? I might be getting ahead of myself.
Well, we've been mentioning it for a year, and we know the writers are about a year ahead. So if suddenly they get back together, we're claiming this as our thing. Yeah. We made it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course.
You're welcome.
One thing we'll never ever claim is Rose. and I'm only kidding.
Gosh.
I'm only kidding. But Rose this week, this has been borderline insufferable. Let's quickly try and summarize it. Rose and Xander's mum is constantly calling Xander. Actually, I don't think it's Rose that's been the problem. I think it is actually Xander this week. I was texting you about it, wasn't I? He feels stuck in the middle, which I completely understand, because he's lying to his mum, but he also wants to try and support his sister, even though he doesn't really agree or understand entirely why she's doing it anyway. And we've gone over that in previous weeks, that whole debate on why he can't get on board with it and what he feels will be different to her feelings, etc. We've gone over that before. Go back and listen to it if you want to hear it. But he just does not get it, does he? So, and lo and behold, there's a knock at the door, and it's Sammy Boy. It's old Samuel there.
Sammy
Roses. Boy? That's what I've written.
Familiar.
2 episodes.
I didn't know you knew him so well.
Well, this is 2 episodes now. I'm in the book. I'm in the Bible.
Have you written your name on the first page?
And I've done that 90s everyone did.
Oh, yeah. I still do that when I'm doodling on a meeting, on a Teams meeting. Yeah. I'm in there. Oh dear. You stayed in the book. God.
He's had to let him in, hasn't he? So he's like, doesn't tell him who he is though, does he? He's definitely keeping at arm's length here, Xander, isn't he? Because he's got this sort of voice in his head saying it's betraying your mum. Your mum would be upset about this, and he's really torn by it. Rose finally comes home, and Xander manages to slow Pop out the way straight away. He's not happy. Marley does this awkward introduction, There's a lot about your life I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you did just meet her last week. You know what I mean? Like, of course.
Yeah.
Xander's then doing a sleepover at Max. This was floated a couple of weeks ago. She offered the room, didn't she? He's now took her up on it. He can't bear to go home. Why is Xander acting like this, Sophie? Try and help me understand it, because I'm banging my head against the wall here.
In in 2 words, wet lettuce springs to mind. I feel bad saying this, but Xander is so sensitive. He's such a sensitive little soul, and Rose, by contrast, is so insensitive of her feelings and other people's feelings. I think. I don't think she really knows how she feels, and she certainly doesn't really understand how anybody else could possibly feel. You know, by her actions or what else. I don't know. I feel like I need to feel empathy for Xander, but I found it difficult. Have you?
Yeah, I think I texted you and I said, why is he being such a baby? Like,
yeah.
We've put it off, haven't we? We've put it down to the beating us with the stick. Like, you know, we are vicariously being taught a lesson through Marley and his conversations.
Yeah.
I get it, right? 100% get it. But at this point, like, she's a grown-ass woman. You are a grown-ass man. Leave her to it. Like, tell your mum, don't tell your mum. Do you need to even mention Rose to your mum? Like, who cares? Just tell your mum you're at work. Like,
I would just say to him, I just answer the phone and say, Mum, I don't want you asking me questions about what Rose is up to. You know, I don't speak for her. You know, contact her, and if you've got a problem with her, then ask her to come and see you, or come. We haven't met their mum, have we? So come to the Bay and actually visit your kids. You've not been here. They've been here for when did they join? Last summer.
Yeah, a while back. Yeah,
it's been over a year, and we've never seen her mum in the Bay, or their mum, I should say, in the Bay. So, you know, just phone.
And you know what?
Phone your kid.
Phone her.
Yeah.
Phone me if you want to talk about me. That's what I'd say. Yeah. I'd like it.
Put them in the bloody middle. Yeah.
This is them two all over, though, isn't it? They're into each other's pockets way too much. Absolutely.
They're so intertwined, aren't they? I mean, I remember us laughing when they first joined the show, and we were like, "Are they brother and sister or a couple?" Because they're a little bit too close, aren't they?
Yeah.
It was a little bit, a bit creepy to start with.
It. Yeah. Ooh.
No.
Just shuddered. But honestly, and then that whole charade when she goes to lunch in the Salt and he's working and he's going outside in a huff.
He's like, if I can't see them, they can't see me.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was a bad idea coming here.
It was so funny. She was like trying to wave at him, and he's like trying to look anywhere else. Like, I can't see you. I'm just going to go out on the balcony for no reason. I was dying. Oh, it was so bad.
And Max all like, no, he can't talk. He's really busy.
He's really busy.
Customers.
He's really busy getting himself drunk in the corner.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I know.
Even the blow up, you know, because they had the argument when you're just like, just let me talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even the blow up that they had, you know, and it was like, because she then turns around and tells Sammy Boy to do one, doesn't she?
Yeah.
You know, which I didn't see coming, I'll be honest.
I thought this was really harsh. I mean, I'm struggling with Samuel a bit because it's been a bit weird, hasn't it? Let's face it, it's been a bit weird. It's Rose. I mean, this is supposed to be like a really emotional thing. She's tracked down her father that she didn't know who he was for all these years. She's thought about him for all these years, and she's tracked him down. He didn't know that he had a daughter. He hasn't rejected her. He hasn't told us to rack off. He's embraced it, and he said, like, I want to spend time with you. You know, I need to get to know you. And them getting to know each other has been very one-sided, hasn't it? He's been telling her a lot of things about himself and his family, and I think he was drawing out a family tree at one point on a piece of paper. And Rose hasn't even told him that she's got a brother. it's like she's very guarded. She's not telling him anything. And then she's saying to Marley, "Oh, I don't feel a click. He's a really nice man, but I don't feel anything." And I'm like, well, maybe try actually opening up and talking to him.
Yeah.
And that whole conversation in Salt, where I think JP interrupts the lunch and introduces himself, and then when he realizes that's Rose's dad, he says, "Oh, does she get the golfing skills from you?" And then she just goes really, really quiet and really awkward. And then later on, there's a scene with Marley where he says to her, "Oh, the golfing thing was awkward because that was the thing you had with your dad." And I was like, why doesn't she just tell this guy? Why don't she just say, "I had a stepdad. Xander's dad only died a year ago. He brought me up. He was my dad. He's the one that taught me to golf. So this is a bit weird for me." Just have some dialogue with this poor guy, because he's got no idea. He keeps putting his foot in it, and he's got no idea he's putting his foot in it. And I just felt so bad for him.
Oh, yeah, I did, and actually, I was quite glad when when she told him to sling his hook, and he said, "Oh, well, I can't just forget about this now. Now I know." Like, this is not something that I can go back on so easily. I just didn't expect it to be her to push back. Normally in these type of stories, you get the rejection from the parent, don't you?
Absolutely. Which is why that conversation with Xander and Mac, I thought, oh, here we go. Because you remember when Xander was having this meltdown at work and pouring himself a drink, and Mac was like, "Talk to me, tell me what's going on." And they mentioned Dean, and he asked about Dean's relationship with Mac, because obviously Dean and Mac didn't grow up as siblings. They found each other later on in life. And I thought, oh, this is a really good opportunity now for Mac to say, "Do you know what? My dad rejected Dean. He pretty much paid him to go away, paid him off. He didn't want him anywhere near me." It wasn't a nice reunion like Samuel and Rose have got, where Samuel actually wants to know about Rose and tell her all this stuff. She's quite lucky, really, in a way, that he's accepted her. Bearing in mind, still no DNA test, still no proof that she's actually his daughter. She hasn't spoken to her mum. There was a bracelet, but it's not proof that they're related, is it? There's no factual evidence that he actually is her dad, but he has accepted it as truth from day one, and wants to get to know her. I mean, that's bloody unusual, let's be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yet now, she's the one that sought him out. She's the one that found him. She's the one that wrote the letter. She's the one that told him that, she existed, but she doesn't want him. Like,
weird. And Xander blows about it, doesn't he? Blows his lid.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh, bloody hell, girl can't win. You're just like, ugh.
What does she want? What does she want from him? That's what I'd love to know. Like, she can't work out herself, can she? She doesn't want a replacement dad, but maybe tell him that. Maybe say, because she hasn't even mentioned the stepdad. Maybe tell him, "I had a stepdad and I used to play golf with him, and he's Xander's dad. Xander's my brother. This is our relationship." She hasn't told him anything about her life. He doesn't know anything about her. And then she's saying, "I don't feel connected to him." And I'm like, you need to feel connected with somebody, you need to talk, don't you? Essentially. And say, "This is who I am." Like me and you have over the last year and a half, or however long we've been friends for. We talk about stuff that's not about the podcast, and that's how we get to know each other.
Yeah.
They've not done that, have they?
Nope. No.
Madness. It's maddening.
It literally makes you mad.
Oh, you know what they need? When we're talking about having new cast members, because the cast is quite small, Home and Away needs a bloody therapist, because every character on Home and Away needs therapy. I swear to God.
Where's Logan, man? Get Logan back.
Absolutely. Everyone needs, because they can't communicate. They can't talk to each other. It's so frustrating. I mean, I know it's soap and I know it's TV, and you wouldn't have these storylines, but it'd be nice to see people actually opening up to each other and saying, "This is how I feel. This is what I'm thinking. This is, who I am." We don't have these real conversations sometimes, and it's so like, oh. Right, it's that time again. Are you ready for another round of Your Say on the Bay?
I think so.
You think so? I'm sensing some trepidation.
Well, I'm a little bit, after your little kick-off.
I'm sorry.
I'm worried if anybody else is kicking up. I'm only messing.
I apologise. It really annoyed me. Do you know what? I feel better now. I've got it off my chest.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you for listening.
Therapy.
Thank you for listening. I know I'm not, they're not the only ones that need the therapists.
Do you know, we need to do some sort of, do you know what? There should be some weird parallel universe where we infiltrate the Summer Bay universe and all the characters listen to the Coastal News podcast and, feel much better afterwards. That needs to happen.
I don't think they would feel better, some of them anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, maybe not Rose.
Yeah. Maybe not Rose or Rue. Or
Rue.
Sorry, Rue. Georgie Parker, I love you, but Rue, good Lord. Yeah. Good Lord. Georgie, Rue. No one needs it. Anyway. Where am I? So for anyone who might be new here, well, this is a day and a half. What we're doing now.
Sorry. Go on.
Come on, breathe. Okay, we'll start again. When you laugh, it makes me laugh because it's so funny. I love your laugh. No, don't apologise. You've got one of those laughs that makes you laugh, like it's infectious. I love it. Right. Serious podcast. For anyone who might be new here, what we're going to do now is have a little look at what the viewers think of Home and Away and the episodes that have aired this week. So we've just been discussing on the main segment all the storylines that have been happening this week. You've heard what we think about them, but now I want to know what you guys think, the viewers of Home and Away. So I've been digging through your social media comments and reactions, and I'm going to read a few out to Si. But before we do that, for those of you that already know the drill, you know what I'm going to say now. But we're on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, etc. We're still on Twitter, and we tweet along with the show. We tweet along because we watch it at 6:30 p.m. Monday to Friday on 5-Star here in the UK. And if you want to get involved in the chat, #Home and Away, come and join us, because there's a few people that tweet every night, and then we just talk about what we think of the show. And you might just end up on this segment of the podcast. So the first topic I have for you today even, is Dirty Cash. Dirty Cash versus Detective Dodgy.
Dirty Cash, Detective Dodgy. Yeah.
Detective Dodgy. I like that. That's an earworm. Yeah, I like that. So what do people think about these two? Okay, so went over to Facebook and Tina said, now that's what you call a corrupt cop. Sly as they come, and I hope Cash brings him down.
Down, Cash, down. He's a snake.
He's sly as they come, according to Tina. Ooh. Yeah, and I'm not really disagreeing with you, Tina, either. Anne says, Cash is clever and he's no pushover. Dirty Cash. Dirty Cash is not a pushover. I think non-dirty Cash.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, when he's trying to be good, he is a bit of a pushover, isn't he? Actually.
Yeah.
Can be. It's in there, but when he goes rogue,
he literally doesn't take much to convince him to break any rules.
That's true. Yeah.
And do what you need him to do.
I didn't do it. Oh, okay. If you say so.
I'm taking you in. Got you to the car. I've changed your mind.
You give me a sob story and I believe you. Even though I'm going to go to prison for helping you.
YOLO.
He is a bit of a pushover in that respect. Yeah. I think. Foxfire Photos on Twitter said, at least Cash has now got proof that Madden and Ollie are working together to bring Dana down. Cash is a smart cookie and he will work it out. Will he though?
Everyone loves a bent copper, don't they? Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh God. Yeah, I mean it's line of duty, isn't it? It was all about bent coppers. People lap this stuff up, don't? I mean, we love this, don't we? This is typical soap fodder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Francis on Facebook said, is he a lone dirty cop or is he in it with others? Then again, his colleagues might know about what he's doing and they might be waiting for him to make an error and to nab him. I think Francis is a Line of Duty fan because that's literally what they do.
Yeah.
Investigate the dirty cops, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah. It is interesting, actually, where we go next. This is making me think now, like, what next? Like, who can they trust?
Yeah.
How do they get out of this?
How does Ollie know Detective Dodgy?
Yeah, and why?
Yeah.
Why? Like, why are they working together? What does Ollie know? Like, you know.
Is Ollie blackmailing Detective Dodgy because he's a dodgy detective? Is Ollie related to him? I've got so many questions.
Yeah.
I hope we get some answers to these questions as well. I hope it's not just, this is it.
Not one of them. Yeah.
That'd be frustrating. Yeah. Claire Marshall says, you can tell he's a bent cop a mile off.
You can do.
I don't know if that's praise or not for the actor. Oh dear. And then Rochelle says, you just got to look at him to know he's dodgy.
Another one.
So lots of people are saying he's as dodgy as they come, this bloke. So I guess it's saying a lot about the casting of the character. Although
and the way he carries himself as well.
Yeah,
he's proper cocksure, isn't he?
Oh yeah, like he's a bit of a smarmy kind of character, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
But we love that. We love that. Typical soap baddie, really. A lot of people have been praising the casting though. So Privy actually says that on Facebook. Great casting with Detective Madden. So there's I don't think there's any bad comments about this dodgy cop. Really, I know they're calling him a bent copper, but I think that's the character he's playing. I think people are lapping this up. I think he's been a hit, to be honest. What about Dana though? So unfortunately, the internet the internet has been calling Dana Dumb Dana.
Well, okay, we called her naive. We were polite.
Yeah, I suppose it's the alliteration, isn't it? Dumb Dana. It kind of rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Oh, Dana. So Yvonne on Twitter said, I fear Dana, who doesn't seem to be very bright, has gone and blown it by making that phone call.
Yeah. From your sister's phone.
I'd agree.
From your sister's phone, immediately implicating your sister. Like,
oh God. And I think it was a voicemail as well, so that you can play it over and over and over and over again. It wasn't just a phone call. Frustrating. But anyway, not about us. Tina on Facebook says she's never grateful for what her sister is doing, risking her own safety just to clear her name. Cash putting his job on the line just to help her. Yeah.
That's a thought, actually. That's not even something that had crossed my mind. She's always whiny. You know.
She's not grateful at all.
People are really sticking their necks out here, aren't they?
It's almost like if I'm going to go down, I'm going to bring you all with me, isn't it? It's almost like that.
Well, the way we're at the minute, that's looking like it's likely going to happen.
Yeah. Oh dear. Vicky says, I don't like her at all. She seems really ungrateful. She doesn't listen to her sister, and now she's used her phone. Yeah.
Ask Phil Pay's permission, please.
I know, right? Good Lord. Sheila says she's thick as two short planks, and I don't like her sister either. Oh dear, there's no love lost with Sheila at all.
No, so Sheila.
Oh dear. Angelique says that was a really dumb thing that Dana did. Why make a phone call and let him know that you're about to get CCTV footage just to keep yourself quiet? Her sister told her not to make any phone calls. Dumb. Called her dumb twice in that message. Dumb Dana. I told you. Oh, Sue Carter is not loving this. Sue Carter says, I hate this storyline. This silly little girl is not learning a lesson. So this is the thing we talked about in the main podcast, isn't it? She's not a little girl. She's an adult. She's a nurse. But she is acting. You wouldn't be wrong in thinking she was like 15, 14 years old.
Yeah, it's quite juvenile, her approach, isn't it? Yeah.
Very, very much so.
So we're not the only ones picking up on that.
No, but then there are some positives. There are people that are enjoying the storyline. I think I'm enjoying the storyline. I think it's Dana that's winding people up. But Jamie said, I kind of like Harper and Dana, actually. They feel like old school Home and Away characters. Is this the whole coming to the bay with a secret?
Yeah, the classic trope.
Yeah. Jamie also on Twitter said, we didn't see Irene's house for months, and now we've had a brick through the window while she's been away, and now a drug storyline while she's away this time. That's right, isn't it? We haven't seen the beach house for absolutely ages, and now we keep seeing it when Irene's not even there.
We do. My favourite house.
It is my favourite house. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'd want to live. I'd want to live there.
That's where I would be. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, that's right. But it's nice to have the set back. And the fact that the set is back tells me we're here for a bit.
Yes,
because the sets come up and down, don't they?
Yeah. I think some of them are permanent. I think some are permanent, aren't they? But other ones, they do pop up and down. Yeah.
I think on one of the programs, it was the diner is permanent. And obviously we're there every episode.
Yeah.
I think pretty much everything else comes and goes, does it?
I think Salt is permanent. I think Salt and the diner and possibly the surf club, the bit where the board shop is. But I think all the houses apart from the farmhouse, I think that's a permanent set, isn't it? The farmhouse.
They'll come and go up and down.
But I think the rest of them,
I think stories.
I think Parata House, John's house, we've not seen for God knows how long, and the beach house and
the share house, they'll all come and go as the story allows. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think we're on about the 4th sofa over at Casa Parata. I'm keeping a tally on that.
They moved the furniture around. They moved the table. That dining room table is sometimes there, sometimes not there. It's fascinating. Where did they put it?
It's honestly, it's not for me. I find the sofa fast. I'm like, you're just sitting on a brand new couch. No one's talking about it.
And then the old one comes back 2 weeks later. Brilliant. I think let's store it all in Nico's room, and just bring it out. I mean, I do a rotation. Right, we've worn that cushion down, put that away for 6 months, and bring the next one out. Yeah, that's what I'm choosing to believe.
Go for it. Whatever helps you sleep at night, love.
It doesn't, though. I literally lie awake thinking about this stuff. I'll tell you. Dear. Right, on Facebook then they played that clip of Justin and Leah getting a little bit
the spanner drop.
Getting a little bit saucy with the old Dirty Dancing in Summer Bay Auto. Wow. That was a shocker. We haven't talked about that on the main pod. It was interesting. Yeah. How did you feel about it?
It probably fell under the last quarter of Lyric in a minute. I didn't feel nothing, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Nothing in my undercarriage. No, what about you?
No twinges.
No.
I didn't feel any twinges. I felt a little bit cringy, I'll be honest. It's what it's like? It's like when when you catch like your mum or your dad kissing, like it's a bit
I should hope not.
It's a bit I mean, I'm happy for them. I'm happy that they're happy, but I don't really want to see it. But lots of people commented on this video. Obviously there were, understandably there were lots of comments like, oh my God, Justin remembered the garage existed, and wow, he's actually working.
Yeah.
So I think Claire on Facebook actually said he's actually at work. And Kathy said, don't stop Justin working, he's only just started again. But some people were loving this scene. So Leanne said, I love this scene, it's so cute. Emma said, my favorite Home and Away couple, which you obviously, did you vote for them, Emma? Because the award show's coming out soon.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say
coming out soon. So maybe they win, maybe they don't.
I just have palpitations.
No, I'm not gonna say the winner. But if you didn't choose them, it's on you. Viv said that was lovely, well done. Love watching Home and Away every evening. Caroline agreed. She said, I love that impromptu dance. I felt a bit jealous, actually. I would love to dance with James Stewart.
Oh.
Ooh, he's looking a bit buff lately, James. Is it just me? Do you not notice? He keeps wearing vests and I keep getting a bit hot. Yeah. Don't know if anyone else has noticed.
I'll report back.
He's looking quite buff. Yeah.
I'll report back and have a look. You see it sometimes, don't you, on Insta? He's he's on the front of some magazine talking about his fitness journey. Yeah. So I think he's been working out, especially for you.
I've noticed. Yeah, getting a little bit. A lot of vests. It used to be baggy t-shirts and baggy like shorts and
baggy
stuff.
Trousers. So I was going to start
baggy trousers. It did though, and now he's starting to wear vests and get his like pecs out and his muscle fit. Interesting. Anyway,
you throw me a curveball. I'll have to come back to you.
It's not that kind of podcast. Nina said, "I love that scene. Love that scene. However."
Which scene are we still on Dirty Dancing? Yeah.
we are. Sorry.
Yeah.
Apologies.
No, it's fine.
We are still on Leah and Justin dancing in the garage. However, I do try and find, where I can, both sides of the argument. So
balance.
Although a lot of people are loving it, some people really aren't. And it's not really so much them as a couple, but there's a lot of people saying they can't stand Leah. So Naomi on Facebook said, I really can't stand Leah. Justin would be better off alone or with someone else. So just any option other than Leah. Wow. Harsh. Tracy agrees. She says, Leah gets on my nerves. Liz agrees. I can't bear Leah, she says. Caroline, a different Caroline to the one that wants to dance with James, says this was cringeworthy. And Claire agrees. Claire saying cringe. So yeah, not loved by everybody, I'll be honest.
Yeah, doesn't sound so.
And then over to Twitter, and Jamie has quite a worrying message for Leah and Justin. He says, Leah and Justin having a lovely scene together, never a good sign. He's not wrong, is he?
I suppose it's a bit like anything, really, isn't it? When we were talking about in the main spiel of this episode about Justin and Tane and Felicity. Yeah, that was the same sort of thing. And we were like, that means what goes up must come down. Yeah. So it's same. You can apply the same logic, can't you?
Thank you for listening. We will be back with more episode discussion from Summer Bay soon. Until then, join the discussion online at Coastal News Pod.